In the previous season, Dr. Tracye Polson and I discussed various modalities to aid those who have found themselves struggling with their mental health and well-being. And this is what we're doing here. This is a mental health check-in. I want to check in with you and see how you're doing. Please tell us how you're doing in the comments. Let's talk about it. We talked about a lot of things, and I'd like to continue the discussion. Listen, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like, share, comment. Go on our YouTube channel, like, share, comment. Smash the subscribe button, please, and ding that bell so that you get all of the notifications for new episodes. I appreciate you guys being with us, and we like to talk about things that are the most important to you. And one of the things that keeps coming up, and I keep getting messages about, is our mental health and well-being during this pandemic and post-pandemic era. We're having problems with, our finances, job security, rental crisis, the housing crisis, not just in Northeast Florida, but everywhere. The housing crisis has gone crazy, and people are stretched to their limits. People are having a hard time paying their bills. We can hardly make it, most of us. There's no such thing as a single income family anymore. No such thing. Back when my parents were raising a family, it was easy. I won't say easy, but it was easier for a single income family to make it. My dad could afford the house, a car, trips, all kinds of things. Can't be done now. So I got the chance last season to spend some time with Dr. Tracye Polson, good friend of mine. And she is a mental health professional who deals with all kinds of issues, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, which I suffer from. And she works with men, women who are just trying to make it, just trying to make ends meet. And I know that a lot of you are just trying to make ends meet. We just want to make it to the end of the day, make it to the end of the week, make it to Friday, make it to Saturday, so that we can have a somewhat normal life with our kids, our friends, our family. And sometimes it's just not that easy. Let's hear what she has to say.
I will say this, that, there's help. Not enough of it, especially here in Jacksonville and in Florida. We need more mental health providers. We need a continuum of mental health care. A system of care to provide services for people, and you're going to just see this, I think, grow and grow as even as the pandemic sort of wanes. I think you're still going to see an increase for services.
And do you see that by and large a lot of people are reluctant to seek therapy?
I think it depends on. I think it depends, right? Like some people, and I always say this when somebody calls me and comes to see me, I say, I have tremendous appreciation and the bravery that it takes to call a total stranger, to reach out and come and see somebody that you don't know and tell your most private secrets.
Sure.
It's really hard. So I think, help is out there. I think there's a lot happening in this community to destigmatize mental health, for people getting help. I know I have a wonderful therapist. I still, talk to her once a week. I feel like that's really important in terms of the work that I do.
Sure.
But also in terms of my own history. I've been, very vocal about that. So I think the more that people can sort of talk about how incredibly powerful and life-saving it can be to talk to somebody who really understands and can help you think through what you're going through, what you're feeling, and at least in my practice, to be able to explore options for ways of coping with things.
Right. In many cases, do you think it's the therapy helps people to rationalize what they may have been irrational about in the past, or
maybe? Would you have a particular idea?
Well, the stigma behind, let's say, for instance, big strapping young man, that just feels like therapy would be a weakness, and it's really an irrational thought. But going in for that first therapy session and realizing that, maybe he'd been wrong all those years.
Well, I never forget that I represent authority. And a lot of people have this mix, or this idea that I can read their minds, or that I know things, or that I'm judging or diagnosing. So I'm always mindful of that. That people are, on some level, they're afraid to be seen, they're afraid to be known, even at the same time they deeply want to be known. So I just am very mindful that a lot of people have feelings of fear and confusion around, am I going to judge them? Am I going to diagnose them? Will I really understand and try to get them?
Right.
And so I really try to use my training, but also just the person that I am, to try to communicate that the purpose is really to try to help them understand themselves, know themselves better, because the better we know ourselves, the more we are less vulnerable to other people to sort of control or manipulate us. The better we are able to sort of see and understand our own options and relationships and our communities. Like, I really think about it in that way.
Guys, my closing thoughts are that, we went on, Dr. Polson and I, we went on to talk about many other things. We talked about the LGBTQ community and their stressors that they're growing and going through. Not just the pandemic, but before the pandemic. I mean, they were already going through stressors, and continue to go through stressors. Now the Supreme Court is giving them a ration of shit. They may be trying to reverse same-sex marriages, which is going to turn the country upside down, as if Roe v. Wade didn't already do so. We can't put up with this any longer. We cannot. Love is love, and bodily autonomy is impertinent. It should be no debate. It should not be a debate. But it appears as though the Republican, right-wing, conservative dipshits in Washington, in the Supreme Court, seem to think that they can just send us back to the fucking 18th century. I am sick and tired of it. I'm done with it. I am done with it. There are so many members of my family that are gay and finally got their rights to get married. in many states. And now they're saying that they're going to try to overturn it. Well, Clarence Thomas, one of the things that's being challenged is the fact that he can't be married to his wife. I guess that dipshit is going to have to fight that one. Look it up, Google it, the Lovings. Biracial marriages were unheard of a couple of decades ago. And I guess now Clarence Thomas stuck his foot up his ass and in his mouth, I guess successively, to cause problems on himself and every other black man or black woman who is married to a black man or black woman, whether it be gay or straight. The man has shot himself in the foot. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And my final thought is that speaking of the mental health issue, if you know of someone, if you are someone, or someone you know, or someone you love, is struggling during this time, whether it be pandemic, whether it be the Supreme Court, if you're struggling with some of this shit that is going down, please feel free to contact us, contact my good friend Dr. Tracye Polson. I'll leave the links in the comments. Contact any other counselor if it makes you feel better in the Northeast Florida region or anywhere else in the country. If you happen to be listening to us in Canada, look for a counselor. Get it taken care of. Look for a lawyer. Look for someone to take care of you. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other. In the meantime, until next time, peace. I love you, brothers and sisters. I love you.